Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I'm David Steele and here's me truck today. And today we're back in the Mack R 600. This is the medium length chassis, and under the hood we have a Caterpillar 1673C for Charlie. That's the latest or the later version of the 1673. This particular model is the 270 rated horsepower, so it's just over 800 foot-pounds of torque. And we're using a pepperoni pizza inspired, or designed, if you like, or I wouldn't say designed. Apparently Eaton-Fuller designed it. But pepperoni pizza built the definition, and I tweaked it and put it in the engine pack. But today we're going to be doing a special cargo. And yeah, that's the one, the Metro rail car. 79,000 pounds of, I guess, rolling stock. Oh, great, it's raining. So, as a special cargo, you got to follow different rules. And so, basically, you have two escort vehicles. One in front, which is usually a cop car. One behind, that's usually a pickup truck. Unusually, though, the pickup's going to stay behind you and not go around you, coming up against a blind corner. Right, well, they're going to give me some instructions here. Let's go ahead and see. Yeah, so you're about to haul a special cargo transport, two escort vehicles. Yeah, we've just explained that. Follow their lead and suggestions in the route advisor. When they say suggestions, if you don't follow them, you don't complete the special cargo transport mission. And so this is not pirate's code. And essentially what they say is don't crash, don't speed, don't run into anything, don't crash. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Now, how competent is this Mack R going to be in this role? Well, she's got short gearing. This 18 speed is a 456 final drive, and so 55 miles an hour is about 1800 revs in top gear. I'm just going to go ahead and turn on the special hazard lights here, the numpty driver alert. It's quite a long cargo that we're playing with today, but I think more concern is possibly the weight. Nearly 80,000 pounds of cargo, plus that trailer is not going to be light. So it's going to use all the crawler gears. In fact, let's just put it back into crawler 1. Let's see how well 270 horsepower copes with this load. Okay, surprisingly easily so far. Now, a bridge might utterly kill this mission, though. Bridges can be surprisingly steep, and so yeah, we've got to bear that in mind. But I gotta say, so far, and yes, the gearing really is super short, but so far this is very easy. So they do control the route on the special transport missions. You get, well, traffic cones and a vehicle to follow once you make it out of the freight depot. And you have an audience because everyone likes to watch. It's not quite OnlyFans for trucking, but you get the idea. It's actually storming right now. So I think it's 100 and something, 150 miles to 140 miles. It says 3 hours. I think that's a little optimistic. Oh, and one other thing. You don't have to follow, or you don't follow, most of the rules of the road. These things like stop lights and stop signs and traffic lights, and you probably have to follow the rules for traffic circles. This guy's telling me I have to keep going. That's fair enough. How long is this trailer? Oh, it's pretty long. Okay. Right, well, I need to say, 15 miles an hour in 9th gear. What's that saying? Really tight part of the route is coming, okay. Now, if you've ever done a special transport and you've taken the turbine blade, that is a very long transport. That trailer does some weird stuff. This is more of a conventional trailer, so I don't think there's anything really too special going on with this trailer. You've got to give it lots of space. I think. Okay, I think that's good. In fact, let's switch to this view. Yeah, it's a long trip. But the thing that was concerning me was how well would this Mack cope with the weight, and the answer to that is it's not really bothered by it. Which should I be surprised at? Probably not. Now I am only doing 10 miles an hour, and so as the speed builds up, it's going to get progressively harder. But I'm not right now. I'm not expecting any issues with the weight that's stuck on the back of this Mack. Now I do want to take this corner, especially this corner especially wide. Okay, let's go ahead and start to turn. So I'm using the little mini mirror, the back there. Let's feather the throttle as we move around. Let's switch to this view here. It's a pretty good test of the engine of how well. Oh, it does actually do that whole weird ass steering thing. Okay. Yeah, this is not as difficult to maneuver as I had feared. Is there a car sneaking up there? No, it's not. Okay. Alright, that's actually not that difficult to maneuver, which I'm very happy with. Okay. Let's get on with it. So yeah, this is a pretty reasonable test of the 1673C because it's not a powerful engine. I mean, it's 270 horsepower for goodness sake, and 805 foot-pounds of torque. You could count every single one of them. And the issue there with sort of limited power and torque is you can't pull yourself out of trouble. Now, against that, you also can't push yourself into trouble. It's not quite that straightforward, but you get the idea. So we may not reach 55 other than for perhaps a brief period. On the other hand, the gearing is set up so we've got relatively lots of power at that speed, given what the engine will actually produce. Now I am driving this automated, and that's partly because this is a test. Alright, let's actually kill a bit of speed here. Let's go ahead and turn sharper now. Can't really do. Sometimes the auto correction on the mirrors is, well, the view even is a little frustrating, but yeah, this is surprisingly easy to maneuver. Yeah, so there's not that much power and torque, so having lots of gears is useful, and I am doing this in automated mode because it is a test of the engine. This engine's not yet released, at least at the time of recording the video. It's not yet in the Steele Productions Engine Pack. I think it's getting close. I don't have anything on my list of I need to address that. And moving a heavy load like this is one of the last parts of it, because you have to say, who realistically would try a heavy haul, a 100,000 pound cargo and trailer haul with this kind of engine? And if the only answer you can come up with is numpty, then it's not really the right tool for the job. I think if you had to do something like this trip, you might want to be using, if you only had a Mack R or the R600, you might want to use the 350 horsepower E6 version. But this is the best and biggest we've got, so this is what we're going to use. Now I've got the adaptive shift mode set to be standard, and so as you see it's revving up to 2000 RPM because it needs the power. It's not, it did then, but it wasn't shifting up early. And that's another good test of an engine like this. This thing has a governor of just over 2200 RPM. And so right now I'm squeezing a little harder to get up this hill, and it's downshifting beautifully. This is what we want. This is how we want the engine and the gearbox to cooperate together. Now we're bleeding speed, but it's holding it, more or less. Look at that. And peak torque, 1400 RPM is where peak torque is in this particular engine, so gee, it might be a little higher. Maybe 1425. or something. It's not raining now, which is good. And actually, I gotta say, we're doing great. I'm going to use my cruise now. That's how confident I am. Just a quick check on the oil temperature. It looked like it was 209 Fahrenheit. 211, okay. So we are kind of working this thing pretty hard. The way that temperature works in ATS... Am I catching up? Oh, I think I know why. We're about to change lane. So the way that oil temperature works in ATS appears to be connected with how hard you're working the engine relative to how hard it can work. And also the engine speed. So if your engine's rated at 400 horsepower and you are revving it at the governor producing 400 horsepower, it's going to get warm. If your engine's rated at 600 horsepower and you're only revving it and using enough power, using half that, it's not going to get warm. So that's why when you're cruising around and you're in a modern truck with a 450 or a 500 horsepower ISX15 and you just happen to look at your oil temperature and it's just over 200, you're not working it very hard. Right now we are working this little Caterpillar engine pretty hard, and so 208 is just ticked up to. Coolant is similar, but it doesn't heat up anywhere near as quickly. 209 Fahrenheit I saw there. I'm just going to go back on and put my cruise on resume. Let's get it back up to 55. There we go, okay. That little beep there means we're about to change lanes, so I'm going to lift off completely. Sometimes the cop escort will do unpredictable things, but he seems to be... I mean, I've been brake tested by the cop, which is just like, dude, why'd you do that, man? Okay, well, we're back on our way to 55. We haven't yet reached 55. And let's watch my temperatures. So 209 Fahrenheit, coolant 183. Coolant should lag a little bit. But it was a change that SCS implemented into the game 2 or 3 versions ago now, and I guess it's nice to see. It makes me think that they're bringing in a bit more climate into the game, and in fact we have seen a greater variance in temperatures too. It's early in the morning in California and it's showing 64 Fahrenheit, which, having spent a bit of time in this part of the world, yeah, it is quite realistic. You go further north, it's a little colder. We're actually in top gear, look at that, we're doing 50. And is he slowing down on me? I don't know. Mack R's a little sensitive, the short wheelbase one even more so, but with all this weight behind, look at that, 55. Okay. That's telling me another lane change. Okay, so I'm going to kill the power and get him back on my engine brake. See how he's slowing down? He's going to quite aggressively slow down now unless I kill my speed too. You're going to slow right down and then he'll change lane. And then you have to again get back up to speed, having spent the last 9 miles getting up to 55. Okay, right, why are you stopping? Why did you do that? Thanks, it's not like I've got 100,000 pounds behind me. So I was quite keen to downshift then. It downshifted, and then I squeezed it a little harder and it shifted again, but with having lots of gears and short gearing, you get that kind of whipsaw effect with ATS. Right, back on resume. Get this up to 55 again, if we can. How many miles have we got left to go? So we're about halfway there, 71 miles. We could be in the inside lane here, Sonny Jim. But I guess that's not his case notes. Okay, well, very surprised at how performant this combination is with such a chunky cargo behind it. Is this so good for a line haul? I mean, you probably want to use a slightly taller final drive. Because yes, it's useful to be able to do 1800 revs and 55 in California if you come to a hill. But you could maybe put that as your 8 low as opposed to your 8 high. And I know that it's showing as 16th here. Okay, another lane change. So we're going to go to the left lane. And if I preemptively move to the left lane, I'll get a, oi, numpty, we're in the wrong lane message. I think the first time my long-suffering, beautiful lady wife saw me following a cop car that closely, she, of course, immediately assumed that I'd been busted for something. It's like, what? Me? Why did you malign me so? She wasn't having any of it. I explained that I was being escorted. She's like, you carrying prisoners? I'm like, no, it's me. Again with the super sensitive steering here. Well, we're almost up to 55 again. There's another lane change coming up, it looks like. Yep. So another slow down, probably. Whoa. Oh, well, no, never mind. Okay. Yeah, so you might want to maybe use a slightly taller final drive if you're going to configure the truck for this for line haul. But all said and done, dang, this thing is doing absolutely fabulous. There's no other word for it. I did not expect this trip to go anywhere near as smooth as it really is. And why is he still indicating left? Well, that'll be why then. A little bit of jank from the game, I guess, as we approach the city. But yeah, we're cruising at 55. Dang. Not what I expected. I might want to slow down for this corner, however. I think I definitely do. There's a little bit of engine brake here. Engine brake's quite effective, but we are going up a hill, and I think that's probably more effective than the engine brake. The 1673, the later versions are just over a 10 litre. They're more like a 10.5. There is an earlier version. The 1673A is a 9 litre, it might be 8.9 litre engine, and that's an older design, not as effective, not as reliable according to what I read online. And that will also be coming to the engine pack, but not for this particular, well, not this engine. Slow right down. Let's use some aggressive engine braking, shall we? Okay, that engine brake's actually pretty good. I think I've set it to be 1.5. So there's a setting for engine brake, and things like the ISX 15, the stock engine definition has them at the engine brake set at 2.0, and that means it's twice as effective as whatever constant they have that you might expect for that size engine. So I make this 1.5, it's a less effective engine brake than you might expect. But if the stock is 2.0, then maybe SCS should change the scale. Either way, it's not a big deal. The smaller the engine, the less effective the engine brake is going to be. Oh, it's a bridge. Okay, let's give it full power then. I'm going to keep it in. I'm not going to use cruise control. I'll say manual mode. So hopefully we won't get stuck. I might even just do a suggest downshift. That's 10th, and we're still losing a bit of speed. Okay. For the sake of it, I'm going to watch the temperatures. I'm going to suggest a downshift. Oh, it did it for me. Here we go. So it's holding it at 7th gear, which is perfect. I will suggest a change up, and it did. Went to 8th, and it's now flattening off, so okay. My concern about getting stuck on a bridge, and it's happened to me before with a underpowered engine and a pretty heavy cargo. Didn't materialize this time, so yay. Okay, well that's fabulous news. I'm very happy with that. Gonna tap resume and get my cruise down to 50. We'll see if she'll get herself back up to cruising speed. I suspect she won't. In fact, oh boy, look at the map. Let's bring it up on the bigger display here. Oh, that's fine. Nothing to see here. This will be completely okay. No problem here whatsoever. Up to San Francisco. It's a pretty impressive view, though. Let's try this view. Yeah, not bad. I think that also shows off the view. The camera's doing some weird things because of the bridge just getting in the way, but steering, David, steering. For what it's worth, I'm going to bring my speed back down to 35. Oh, it's trying to get to 35. I think this is where it's going to get a little potentially confusing, so I think we need to be merging right. So I'll keep a tight control of my speed. This might be a bit more challenging than most of the special transports because they're not that. They don't tend to be that big of a challenge. And sometimes they can be. But so far, this has been a bit easier than I thought it would be. And of course, maybe the last few miles is what's going to ruin that experience for me. How far have we got left to go? Oh, just 3 miles. I mean, how hard could it be, right? Let's rattle some windows. Okay, imagine living in one of the apartments here on the right. I'm right next to an off-ramp on a pretty busy section of road, I'm sure. You get used to the traffic. Now that's probably saying it's a tight section coming up. Yes, it is. Now, not having to follow street signs is very useful. Stop lights. Okay, it's actually much easier to maneuver a trailer than I thought, but it helps that there's nothing around me. Pick up the pace a little. Excuse me. So, thoughts on this tune of the 1673 then? I think I've got it right. I think I've got it as good as it needs to be right now. It hasn't whipsawed. It's tackled this cargo remarkably well. Its rev and shift points have behaved as I would want them to behave. It's not been a calamity. Now, yes, we've still got a mile to go, and it could still happen. But I think it's done what I wanted it to do, which was not mess up. So yeah, not the lowest powered engine in the 1673 family. There are other lower powered versions available, but this is certainly not exactly a powerful engine. And yeah, now fuel consumption, well, it's not going to be amazing. We've worked it hard the whole time, and it's needed lots of revs the whole time. But we've also hauled 100,000 pounds, give or take, and that's including the trailer. So I think realistically maybe 5, but that might be a little optimistic. Okay, why are we in this? Well, I guess we're in this lane for a reason. Yeah, so I don't think we'll have been that efficient. Maybe 4 to 5, but I don't think we'd have gotten much different if we were using a bigger engine, or a smaller engine, or a more powerful engine, I probably should say. Thank you very much for watching. No pressure then. Cheers, lad. Yeah, see, it's even avoiding the little mini curbs there. Impressive. Oh boy. This left-hand turn is not going to be fun to get into the yard. Draw a bridge. Okay, give me a pencil. This left turn up here, just past the traffic light, is tough with a normal load, let alone something as big as a city. Please that you're going, sunshine. Alright, so, but that said, we have this special funky trailer, so I mean, how hard can it be? So we'll pull up to a little further, let's say around about here, and we'll crack on some left-hand lock. Like so. Let's just look at the tail. Yeah, I think it's going to be, we might actually be a little close to the sidewall behind. Yeah. Oops. Okay. We kind of slid around there, but if nobody saw that, let's not worry about it. Okay, so next time I should not be so far to the right, because the trailer does tend to swing around a little bit. Okay, that was a bunch easier than I feared. And other than a slight rubbing incident in the last few seconds, we've actually we've managed it. Well, assuming I don't crash in the next 15 seconds, which couldn't possibly happen, right? Yeah, I mean it could, but it's not going to. And also, wrong answers only, but this is where they filmed part of the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds movie. You're welcome. Right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut off all the lights. Let's turn off my beacon. And let's get the thing gently, there we go. Put it in neutral, do that. Let's shut that down. And let's see how well we did. So, cargo was £79,000, we covered 143 miles, and we only burnt 31.7 gallons of fuel. That is not a lot. That's about roughly 4.5 miles per gallon. I don't know, somehow I thought we'd be burning a bit more than that, but even though I was hoping we'd get 5 miles per gallon, but if you round up 4.5, you get 5, so that works for me. Okay, well I hope you got something from that. Hope you enjoyed it. Just goes to show that you put the right gearing and get the right shift points, or you manually shift it correctly yourself, and you can move pretty heavy cargoes with quite an underpowered truck. Well, like I say, hope you got something from that, and I'll see you the next time. Take care everyone, thank you. Goodbye.